Ladies and gentlemen, Lab After Dark is starting shortly. Lab After Dark is starting soon.
Mic check. Mic
Lab After Dark
check. I don't know.
is starting soon.
Right.
Well, you opened that Pandora's door.
How's it sound? Tell me if it sounds tunnely or not. If it does. Mic is good. Thank you, Kelsey.
I was actually just sitting down to pee, but whatever. You know.
Bet you were. Bet you were just sitting down to pee, brother. A night that I'll never forget. A night that I will never forget. As hard as I could ever try, it's not going to happen.
What's the point in causing a rupture?
Never seen anything like it. I don't think we'll ever see anything like it again.
Lab After Dark
That's correct.
starts now.
That chat box. Bango, bingo. What's happening? Good to see you. Welcome to Lab after dark. Yes, the 7-second slow mode is on. I don't know what to tell you. Nobody said anything about it tonight, but I'm sure at some point they will. So for the uninitiated, I would just like to say the reason that we do that is not because of heavy traffic. It's not because we can't keep up with the demand. It's so weird people don't say weird stuff in the chat that are blocked words that they somehow manage to do letter by letter. Okay, now that that's out of the way, one thing that I've been thinking about as well is somebody said the other day that members do not get the same benefits. Like there's no slow mode for members. Or excuse me, that there's still slow mode for members. Did we ever get a ruling on that? I'm pretty... that would be news to me. I believe that members... are allowed to chat with... Yeah. Well, you're a mod, Kelsey, so you're not just a member. So I don't think it'll matter for you. Yeah, but the being a mod supersedes being a member. It's 7 seconds. That's it. It's okay. Yeah, I don't know. Holly, what do you think? So, what is your conclusion there, Hollinator? Nobody said anything. I'm just saying that inevitably somebody's going to say something. Does it make member and non-member wait 7 seconds? What are you talking about? That's the whole premise of this conversation. That's what we're trying to figure out. Let me see. 14 JH. Aloha, Josh. Good to see you. Well, ain't a word, so I ain't asking you. Ain't asking you. Ain't asking you. Ain't asking you. Rude alert. We got a rude alert in the house.
Rhinoceros.
Rude alert. Oh, yeah. Happy Father's Day weekend. That's right. It is Father's Day weekend coming up. That's true. Wow. I forgot all about it. And how terrible is that? No, you're not. No. Nobody's rude. I was just kidding. She wasn't being rude. I was just giving her shit. Although she did say, I ain't talking to you. I ain't talking to you. I ain't talking to you. All right, well, sorry. My bad. I ain't talking to you. Well, I ain't talking to you neither. Ain't a word, and I ain't gonna use it. It's Friday the 13th. Well, it's not Friday here yet, so you guys simmer your britches, as some of us might say. Simmer them britches, brother. How you doing? Uh, um. Hey, look, the chat's back up. But stupid, 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 stupid. Alert box highlights. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me. Where's the event list? There we go. Now we're back, and now we're cooking. I did see that as we were kind of sort of coming on the live air tonight that that there has been a preemptive strike Israel against Iran, and so you know I don't want to get political or anything, but just God be with the people involved, civilians and everybody alike. It's terrible. So just wanted to throw that out there. And, you know, the Middle East is just something that I just don't see. I don't know, man. I just, in all the years that it's been going on, you know, achieving peace is just seems so futile. And so I don't know. It's sad, although there's nothing that we can do about, or nothing I can do about it. I don't know what you can do about it, but I know there's nothing I can. But I just hope and pray that it comes to a resolution fast for everybody involved. And you know, very scary. You're right. Scary times, and I don't know. I mean, I wish that I was smarter in these situations to talk about it a little bit more without coming off in any such way. But it's just a scary thing because they call these, and I don't know if they're considering this a regional war yet. But obviously, regional war is what it is. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's sort of isolated to obviously a certain region. The problem is that there are U.S. soldiers over there, children are over there, innocent women, innocent men are over there, and that is just an unfortunate and tragic thing. The problem with regional wars is they can become global, and that's how they always start. So you never know. And I'm not saying that this is the start of, World War III or anything like that. I'm not fear mongering in any way. I don't know. I don't think. I hope not. But I know that these things can get messy fast, and so I hope that it ends fast. But I don't have much faith that it will. This is just something, Iran and Israel and are not the best of friends. So, and, I'm sure. You're talking about Operation Rising Lion, right? No, I'm not. I'm talking about, I think they called it they call it the decapitation because they're targeting high profile members, like nuclear scientists, generals, things like that. So I don't know what the hell the Rising Lion is. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Lion. Never heard that one. Operation Rising Lion. It's an interesting one. Operation Rising Lion. What is Operation Rising Lion? I'm not saying it's not a thing. That's just not what I was talking about. I don't know what it is. What the frig is that? Oh, yeah. Is that Ernie? Let's see. Operation Rising Lion. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't heard it referred to as that, but hopefully some sort of nuclear deal can be reached with Iran and the West, and I don't know. Like I said, I have not heard it called that, but it's a nice name. That's where Ernie gets his shit at. Operation Save the Lamb, Spare the Child, and Spoil the Rod. Or something. Those are the ones I'm used to. Operation Fervent Forever. Those are the whenever I hear of like lightning and rising and tigers and lions and shit, it's hard to take serious from just being exposed to the urn shell bullshit. You know. At all costs. You know, he used to say shit like that. I think he probably still does. Dildos in the yardo. I got to find that. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find it, but that's a great soundbite. Rod should be on that word list. Rod needs to be a blocked word. Yeah, Iran's not too. They're not particularly fond of the United States, so don't be surprised. No, it's all right. You brought me to Ernie. Operation Lightning Tiger Strikes with Great Force. Something. I don't know, dude. He just says wild shit constantly. Why can't we all just get along? Because that's not in our human nature anymore. I don't know if it ever was. Like if you know, even the earliest stories in the Bible, you know, Cain was like killing Abel, and they were brothers. They didn't have anybody else to talk to. Nobody. Like, nobody. Then they had to marry their sisters and procreate with them, which was always struck me as odd too. Big time odd. Look, I could go through the whole thing of Genesis, and it's like scary. But you know, you have Cain. Cain kills Abel, then runs away, hides. God finds him. I'm not sure what. I don't remember whatever happened to Cain, but he sounded like a real prick. Kill your own brother. Of course, who else was he going to kill? It was bound to be a family member, if you think about it. And then also, if you go by that logic, we're all cousins of some sort, which is terrifying in itself. But it does explain a lot of people. Because a lot of people are a lot closer cousins than they probably should be, which is probably a good segue into what we're going to talk about tonight. Don Wells releases a statement, and you have White Boy covering it like the fanboy that he is. Just, God, dude, that guy just talk about a glazer. Talk about a glazing loser. They're really pushing this propaganda. And Kelsey, thank you for gifting 10 Lab After Dark memberships, keeping the channel going. Nancy in the house. And I don't know. I don't know what the push here is. Like, maybe for some sort of like public cleansing. I don't know. I mean, but which would be fine if they didn't lie about it. And that's what they do. That's what they do. Is they lie about it. They don't tell the truth. And I got to say that I'm going to be here every step of the way to correct every little bit of propaganda bullshit that Tim, White Boy, and Don put out there. If it's not true, I'm going to say it. And what they said about, being acquitted of whatever, all that was an appeals decision. The appeal didn't need to actually go through because there was nothing to talk about because the boys were adopted out. And they somehow claim that as some sort of win. And it's just not true. It's just a lie. Here, I'll play you some audio. Bunch of dummies.
Hello, everyone. This is Don Wells. We're here to report to you that we've got official letters from the heads of DCS that we are cleared from any abuse or neglect on our parts towards our children. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
That is not what happened, by the way.
What's up with it, man? Hey, man, if you're a supporter of mine, this should be
I'm not.
Old news to you.
It's not old news. It's brand new. It's a brand new lie.
I told you all this. I brought this to y'all first a long time ago. There's some people always in my comments when it comes to the Wells that they want to tell me how it's not possible for the CPS stuff and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, man, this is old news. I brought this to y'all a long time ago.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Liar, liar.
The question I keep getting, can they get their boys back?
No, they cannot get their boys back. They absolutely cannot get their boys back. So listen to his just like little open-ended lying, bald-headed, big-eared prison bullshit.
Well, the question, and this is old news. I brought this to y'all a long time ago. The question I keep getting, can they get their boys back? Well, them people are going to be reunited. That's all I'm going to say at this point.
What does that mean? Them people are going to be reunited? What are you talking about, dude? Is Queen Bee and White Boy brother and sister asking for a friend? Look. White Boy is about the foulest person with an internet connection.
I don't know how many, this and that. They need peace, but that's just what's going to happen, man. And people are just going to have to get. They're going to
He's liking my stuff on X now like a creeper. Of course he is.
have to get over it and let them people live their life.
That's what he does. He goes after people that knows that.
Kelsey donated $5 through Super Chat. If you were a vegetable, you'd be a cucumber.
Thank you. I'd be a cute cumber. No, Josie cannot be reunited with them. They signed over their rights completely. Their rights are gone. They have no parental rights. Those children are not theirs anymore.
And that's just what it is. So, yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Just a dumbass statement.
Kelsey donated $5 through Super Chat. I am requesting to review T. Reverend in the moment he lost the fob. Please and thank you.
I like how they threw in T. Reverend. T. Reverend. Kelsey, thank you again. You want me to review T. Rev losing the fob? No, they have no rights, no. Yeah, I mean, look, if I were, I would just block the guy. But that's just me. Because he's a freak. Why can't... I'm not sure about... I don't know. Hold on a second. They're not going to let anybody adopt them that's like close to the case or friends with the Wells or enemies with the... It's just not... They would not do that. They wouldn't let that happen. I just don't believe that. And it's really unfortunate because 15, 16-year-olds, I mean, they're just not in high demand to be adopted because, I mean, in 2 years they're adults, and it's a real shame, unfortunately. And he could very well age out in the system, and that's a terrible thing too. So I'm very sad about it. But I have to believe that no matter what, that those children are in a better situation. And not only do I think that, I know that from just talking to Don before. I mean, he has told me that not only that the children didn't want to go back, that they said that they didn't want to go back. And I'll take him at his word for it, you know. I'm not saying that he doesn't. I'm just saying that that's the reality of somebody who's that age up for adoption. I'm not saying that it ends when they're 18 having a family, but it certainly could if the child wanted it to. But I believe that they're in a better place. But like this is just, and Muscles, I think you just got here, but like, listen to this.
Hello, everyone. This is Don Wells. We're here to report to you that we've got official letters from the heads of DCS that we are cleared from any abuse or neglect on our parts towards our children.
I mean, and they will misrepresent exactly what went on. And all that was an appeals letter. That's it. It was an appeals letter saying that there's no reason to even have to appeal it or go over it because the whole thing is null and void, is a moot point. I don't know. Don said this yesterday, I think. And it's a moot point, and his balls in the drop. Yeah, I would love to be able to ask some questions about that. See, it's just, I know what it is. They're full of shit, and I'm telling you, the person that sets this all up because Don and Candace aren't smart enough to like do this spin. The person that does this type of spin is Tim Mullen. And Tim Mullen is an unworthy adversary. He's a lunatic. He's a weirdo. And I think that tonight I'm going to, there's a lot of people that don't even know who Tim Mullen is now, because it's been a while since we've talked about this case. And I would actually like to reintroduce you to Tim Mullen and his creepy ass videos of how he became involved in the Summer Wells case as the media manager for Don and Candace. He is a lost cannon. And I think that, June 15th is right around the corner. For some reason, they're quiet all year until June hits. And then they're like, let's make some post. Oh, I'm going to show tonight. Trust me. You'll love it too. I'm telling you. I'm going to do some of my best work. Grab a snack. It's an 8-part series. I'm not going to get through it all tonight. But I am going to cover it because I think it needs to happen. Now, there's, like I said, there's a lot of new people that to After Dark or the lab that have come on and don't know really the whole this was a case that I was heavily invested into, and not for financial reasons, although some people would like to tell you that I made a fortune. I certainly did not make a fortune at all. The first 8 months that I covered this case, I was an unmonetized YouTuber, and I just felt very strongly about this case, and it was very frustrating to me. It's still very frustrating to me, and that people like to lie, manipulate, and it was quite a long time, to be honest. And why can't I change? Tim is the strangest of all men. And I used to just battle him at every step with his bullshit lies and propaganda. And him and I exchanged messages that were not that polite. He is sort of to me, a snake oil salesman who he just I don't know. He sucks. Like he's a ride or die Welser. Candace hates him. Maybe that has changed at some point, but Candace couldn't stand him. Don didn't want anything to do with him. And somehow he wedged his ass into 110 Ben Hill Road and was prison pen pals with Don while he was in jail for 8 months. And he was in jail for 8 months.
Bonita donated $9.99 through Super Chat. The best one was where Don called you yammering and ragging about CM and you hooked CM into a three-way call. It was priceless.
Yeah, he was pissed about that. He was pissed about that. But, the thing was he called up, he was enraged. And I've played that here before. And there's actually a standalone video for it on the lab. But he was, oh my God, shot out of a cannon. He was very pissed off that day. And rightfully so. Like I said, I know why he doesn't like me. It's not a secret. I mean, it's not something that I can't understand. I certainly can. If I was Don, I wouldn't like me either. But at one point, he did like me. I never liked him, but he liked me. But one thing I do know is that he doesn't like White Boy. And that, to me, is funny. White Boy thinks Don likes him. Don can't stand him. I know for a personal fact that he can't stand him. I heard it from Don himself. I don't really like that White Boy. He kissed Candace right on the cheek. I almost spackled his ass crack shut because of it. Fucking loser. All of them. Don is a finisher. I don't know if you know what that means, but that's, I don't know. He does drywall. He's got a lot of spackle and shit. Like he likes to spackle shit. I don't know if he likes to, but that's his job. And he's pretty good at it from what I hear. I mean, I don't know anything about spackling, but he's a mud and taper. I gotta spackle this shit right now. I remember one time I was making fun of him. Somebody's like, why would you make fun of Don's job? And I was like, I'm not really making fun of his job. I'm making fun of him because he's a prick. And they're like, my husband's a finisher. And I was like, I'm sorry. Yeah, finisher and fluffer are different. Big time different. They're not the same. And I wish that they... Fluffer. God. That's some funny shit. A fluffer. No, it was funny. It was funny. Don's the finisher, White Boy's the fluffer, and Tim's the cameraman, as you'll find out. Muscles, thank you so much for gifting 50 lab after dropping 50 of them on us, baby. Whoa. Kelsey dropped 10 of them, and who dropped the? I believe it was Cat Sees You dropped 10 yesterday. Dropping 10 of them on us, baby. Yeah. Okay, ew. I'm just saying that he really is a cameraman. White Boy's the fluffer. Swear to God. Let me see here. And it was quite some time ago. I called it the Adventures of Huckleberry Tim. That's right, Huckleberry Tim. Because, let's see. Let me show you here. This was the thumbnail art. Let me move myself. Oh, you can't be around, bow, 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 ding a ding a ding. And dildo thrower extraordinaire. That's Ernie. If it was an Olympic sport, he would definitely medal. I don't know if he'd get gold, but he'd sit somewhere between silver and bronze for sure. Got tremendous moxie for a man his size. When it comes to dildos in the yardos, throwing those. Okay, where's my webcam? I need to move myself. Pew. There it is. Adventures of Huckleberry Tim. Road to Ben Hill Road, narrated by Joshua Diaz. Oh, God, I think I'm so clever sometimes. I just think so. I'm not, but oh, look at that shadow. That thing will haunt you in your dreams. No, Tim is not White Boy. And I don't know if Tim and White Boy like each other either, but I don't think many people like White Boy, to be honest with you. Because he's a lion douche nozzle. Huckleberry Tim. Look at that, dude. It's just like dun 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 dun. Some creepy shit, I'll tell you that. That's a factoid. Okay, hold on. Yeah, they're trying to see who can give the worst advice. Tim and White Boy, but I think Tim does the most damage because I think Don actually sort of trusts him. Sorta? Kinda? I think. I don't know, I could be wrong. But I think he does. I think he does. All right. So this guy, you'll hear the story, but this is Don. So they run the quote unquote official. I don't believe there's anything official about it, but the quote unquote Find Summer Wells page on Facebook that's ran by Tim Mullen. I call it the Find Summer Wells, Tim's political views and other dumb shit he wants to blame CPS for page. That's what I call it. All right. And he, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, he made an entire, vlog about how he got involved with the Summer Wells case, while simultaneously creeping out people walking on public trails. I don't know if I can make that any clearer, but that's just how it is. All right. Give me one. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Who? Who hated him? Everybody hates him. How can you not hate him? He's a very hateable fella. Okay. Yeah, everybody hates him. He sucks. Color block. Yeah, everybody hates him. He sucks. Why can I never grab that the right way? Killing my vibe, dude. Killing my vibe, dude. Oh, that's right. Because it's locked. Idiot. I'm going to get rid of it. All right, here we go.
Well, it all started like everybody else.
Just right out of the gate, dude. Just creeped out. Just Nightmare on Elm Street bullshit. It started like it did any day else.
Saw it in the paper.
Saw it in the paper. Sure you did, dude. Sure you did. I saw it in the paper. Don't understand, though. Let's see here. Hold on. This is pissing me off to no end. And just fit it to the screen. But that's not fit to the screen. It's not fit to the screen, damn it. Yeah, I know. Josh, why didn't you do this before? I don't know, dude. It's a good question.
I heard it on the news somewhere. Everybody had a thought. I had a thought. So the next week I drove out to see where this place was when I found out it was pretty close. Not really in Rogersville at all. Takes as long to get to Rogersville from Ben Hill as it does to get to pretty much Johnson City from Kingsport, so not real sure how Rogersville got their name on that area.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
on the south side of Bays Mountain.
He's also a historian of Tennessee, I think. So he says. I don't know if he is or not. I don't think he knows shit about it, but, you know, that's just me being facetious. That's the alert box. God dang it. So annoying. Perfect.
Which is actually kind of two mountains that come together. If you look at it from the sky, two ridges, it's really one, but it's just the way it's worked itself out. With the reservoir that was made in the middle. That's Bays Mountain right there. East to west was Cherokee territory. Settlers.
Oh, yeah. He also disparages the shit out of Native Americans in these. I'm not even kidding.
Daniel Boone's, Davy Crockett's, all the names that we've heard. That's what this area historically has always been a pretty special spot.
I think so.
Actually, what I'm on is Long Island. It's an island in the middle of the river. Runs a few miles and It is was the second most important part to the Cherokees property. It's where they came all the way from way west, Chattanooga, way down that way. Came here, have their peace treaties, and so this was very sacred territory. It's now sacred baseball territory, but part of it is still owned by the Cherokees.
Whether he likes it or not.
So we drove on out to Ben Hill. To get some shots, get a feel for the place, for the news. The Kingsport.me, free media. And that was my first taste of that area. I'd been through there, but been a long time. Didn't really remember it at all. But like everyone, the terrain stood out very obviously. And I just parked down on the main road there, looking up toward the house, the ridges, creeks, just getting a feel for it, and just could not possibly see how that little girl would have just run off.
Well, now we agree on something.
And that's why I said, from my experience with having sisters and nieces, they're pretty set on what they do until you say horses or puppy dogs.
It's just creepy shit, dude. I don't know. I mean, it's just a weird thing to say. They're pretty set. So are you telling me, is that how I used to get their attention?
Some even like kittens. It's usually something like that, and that's got their attention. They love them. I love those. And they would scurry off if there was something nearby, but that was just
I'd be like, this is stranger danger, brother. I gotta get the frig out of here.
a thought out of my mind. I knew absolutely nothing about any of it. Zero. All I knew was the location. Courtesy GPS and looking at it on Google Earth. Then being there in person and just trying to get a feel for it. And it's an odd feeling. Just standing there on the side of Beach Creek, looking down at the little creek. It was small.
Yeah, so he goes to 110 Ben Hill on Beach Creek. And he's like standing in the road with a camera.
Looking at the hillsides. The police were there at the time, so I just kind of stayed in that area to try to just see what I felt. And then I drove some of the loops, the roads that head more north, do some loop through some gorgeous land. And just thought, where in the world would you look? Came back around Beach Creek more in the west and then headed back toward Ben Hill. And when I got there, the police were gone. So I thought, well,
what does he look like? Hold on. I can help you with that, actually. Well, maybe I can't. Hold on. I keep playing this for you.
let's just go down Ben Hill. So I went down Ben Hill, saw the home box number 110, and looked up the driveway up the woods a little. It's real green. It was mid-June, so actually the second week. I mean, it was the week after it occurred, so June 15 had about a week to that. Went on up Ben Hill as far as I felt that I should. It was obvious I know these counties and these backwoods and roads, and there is a privacy factor there. And I knew there'd been a lot of media, so I didn't want to disturb the neighbors too much. So I just went to a certain spot and then turned around. Then came back, just slowly looking at the landscape again. And it just would leave you without words. There was too much. I'd already seen men, women searching the hills. I'd seen them out in the fields, very carefully searching the fields with it. They were cutting the first cut of the season, I think, where they make their bales of hay for the animals and stuff. But they had to have people in the front, either in walking or like a golf cart or something, four-wheeler, searching the ground first before they brought the big, like a combine, that cut. And just watching that was pretty tender.
Pretty tender. He's the weirdest.
Because you realize the impact of such a small little person not seeing him in the grass and then hitting him with a tractor, pulling a grass cutter. Not exactly what you would want to have happened. Still, you can't, it's hard to get the words. But they did that, and then also saw trucks coming out, pickups pulling just loads of men on the back that had been searching. You could tell just tired, drained. I mean, searching is like exhausting. It's not like running through a field, which is tiring. This is just constant leg work, body work, emotion work, eye work. Never been up here. Trying to see what this is. Oh, a drain pond of some sort. It's one of the big factories over there, Domtar. They're rebuilding.
That's Tim.
This is all still part of Long Island. Very famous. Used to have big plantations after the settlers came in. And all sorts. The original, not just the settlers, but then the founding individuals that came in this area. Things didn't always go good with our Native American friends. A lot of them realized they needed to work with this new civilization that dwarfed theirs. But you had some naturally some of those that felt like they shouldn't yield to this new society. You got to remember.
In other words, the white man came in with guns and said, "Hey, you're going to do it our way or no way at all." I don't think that's called working with a new regime. I think that's kind of called being taken over. Just saying, like, it's different. It's not what he says It is. Son of a. Okay, is that long? All right, let me see if I can just move this. There we go. What's it got to do with summer? I don't know.
They took some of these Indian chiefs kindly to Europe for a couple months. So they went from what we would call loincloths, and tomahawks and bows. And some were more advanced, of course. But basically, that was it. To seeing the civilizations of Europe. 1 billion, and that's after riding ships. All this was new. So those leaders knew it's over for the enjoyment of just having the land, fighting each other for hunting ground.
No, it's not the Volvo guy.
Keeping your prides, having babies, which actually all that sounds much simpler and nice right now, but they saw where it was going.
Tim wants to have babies. He's not going on about anything. He's just talking.
So, of course, they wanted to work with it, keep their people safe. But
this guy, honestly, yeah, speaking of water belts, and Marlena, thank you for bringing that up. This guy showed up to, I think it was the 3-year anniversary vigil or whatever it is that you want to call it, with a belt that had water bottles on it, like that encompassed his entire 26-inch waist. He had water bottles throughout the belt, just walking around with water bottles on a belt. And this is hearsay and not to be taken as fact, but I heard that Don possibly drank from one of those straight off the water belt while it was turned upside down, like the little hamster he is.
you can't stop those that...
Yes, there is audio and video of it, but I'm not going to scare anybody today.
just don't
We're scared enough.
see it. So you...
Can I have a drink off your water belt? You know you can, Donnie. You're allowed to sip anytime. Thank you. It's mighty hot out here. That's why I brought the water belt.
You had others like...
The little guy with the guitar is the guy holding the camera and talking, Tim Mullen.
It's always, too, seems like a lot of the troublemakers are the famous ones, but you had people like Dragging Canoe. A lot of the troublemakers.
He talks shit about dragging canoe, too. Which pisses me off. Dragging canoe's the shit. How dare you?
Are the famous ones, but you had people like Dragging Canoe, who I'm not sure he really helped anybody, but he didn't want to give it up, so he was going to fight for it. If I could go back, I'd say, okay, DC, let's say you get it all.
Well, he's douche canoe. And by the way,
How you going to...
he just referred to dragging canoe as DC, like they're buddies. Hey, DC, how do you think you're going to do it, buddy?
function all these new advancements, everything that everybody's learned and seen in Europe.
Dragging canoe.
Not to mention what they've seen just arrive on the shores. So, anyway, a little thought there.
Once again, this is the Wells media manager who has been spinning their web of misinformation, particularly with his new stunt now is saying that the Wells have been cleared by the Department of Child Services All that they received was something from the appellate division, I believe, and he's full of shit. He's a liar. And he's like, "Hey, Donnie, we can go tell what we should do. Hey, Donnie, come here. You want some water? You want a little sippy? A little sippy poo? You want a little sippy of water off my water belt? My little water belt. Num, 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 num." And he goes, "Here's what we do. Here's what we do. We tell everybody that you've been cleared in Jesus' name. Amen. And you stay off that brown liquor. You stay off that brown liquor, you naughty, naughty boy." "Tim, I haven't been drinking that much." "That's good, Donnie. That's good. You stay away from that now, you hear?"
It's always unfortunate. Change is hard. I can sure see why they wanted to keep it the way it was. Didn't have that, and it was quiet.
Didn't have some asshole walking up and down, creeping everybody out. Just like public areas, everybody's like, "What the hell is this guy doing?"
Peaceful. Other than having to hack a few people who tried to get on your hunting ground.
Other than having to hack a few people that tried to get on your hunting ground, it was very peaceful. Other than the mutilation of others. I mean, what are you talking about? It wasn't peaceful. Peaceful. Okay.
But I think it's great that part of this is still owned by the Cherokees. An amazing people. And now they're estimating that after DeSoto first arrived, long before the Pilgrims.
It's kind of based off. He reminds me of the butler on Scary Movie 2. "Take my good hand." That's kind of the vibe.
This place was packed. This whole country was packed. And they're estimating up to 95%, possibly more, died after DeSoto because of sicknesses that came with him from Europe that spread and killed off the majority of all the Native Americans.
Yeah, that's right.
So by the time the Pilgrims got here, it was just small groups, all just trying to make it. So over on Ben Hill, Beach Creek would have been, for where its location was, probably a very important trail heading toward the west.
Yeah, to drag his canoe up 110 Ben Hill. Is that what you're trying to say? I don't know what you're trying to say. You're not really saying anything. Get to talking, dipshit.
I'm sure the Indian trails through there. I'm sure the bison. We say buffalo, but it's actually bison in America. This place was packed with bison. Look at Bays Mountain. It's like the slumbering bison. Its head drinking out of the Holston River.
It doesn't look anything like that.
Its head drinking out. Bays Mountain. It's like the slumbering bison. Its head drinking out of the Holston River.
It doesn't look anything like. It looks like nothing. Him and this water bullshit's got to stop. "Come on over here and get some water. Who wants some water? I got some water."
But that whole area would have been that historically extremely important area.
Oh, Angie, yes, I did. Please hit that like button on your way in.
And down through there with its creeks and its hollers, you had the mountain one side, the mountain on the other, which from the Kingsport area looks just like a volcano, but it's actually a couple different peaks. But from a distance, it makes it look like they're right together. The opening of the top of the volcano. But from that spot, from Kingsport, if you look and you see that volcano, that is the exact location of the Wales' property.
Muscles, have you been here?
Almost exactly due north
It's like
from
the
those
basin.
peaks straight down to their property.
It's like the basin or
I
drinking.
was with Don and said, always looks like a volcano. He said, I always thought it looked like Mount Sinai.
Oh my
You don't know
God.
Mount Sinai, that was a very important one in the Bible to Moses.
Why don't you just bit at my foot?
Egypt, coming out, heading into Israel.
I mean,
You had
where
Mount
he is
Sinai.
right there. Like, you've been to those fields? Oh, okay, I got it.
Sinai. You can look it up.
I'm good.
Wikipedia. That's how Don loved the Bible. Don loves God, and he does very much. I'm outside, so
You guys
a
don't
little
even believe in the
cold,
same
so
God.
that was loves God, not loved. Loves God. One of his favorite things to do was talk about the Lord, talk about the Bible. Most people really never saw that, don't know it. They pretty much just knew him from his evenings, and that was mostly whiskey talking.
It's the whiskey talking. It's the whiskey talking, Don. Don't worry about it. Come on, I'll give you some water, and then I'll even put a little bit of coffee. And put a little bit of coffee in one of my water belts. Put your little water. Num, 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 num.
That wasn't Don.
Have some coffee. Have some coffee out of the water bottle that's held up by the water belt. The water belt. And the water belt. Get some. Get some, Donnie. Get some.
Don, that was whiskey. A man does not always tell the truth when whiskey talks. In Don's case, he would actually just start making up crazy stuff. His sense of humor would kick in.
Yeah. He's got a great one.
So, we'll get on that some other time. The wind's probably blowing in the microphone and messing this up. And I don't even know if I'm going to share it, but I might.
Oh, you're going to share
So this
it.
is the territory. Hidden between the mountains of what we call Bays Mountain. And then what we call Chimney Top. Between there sets the Wells property. In a very historical area, all the way down through there. From Bison to Cherokee, settlers. Important piece of area that his mama ended up having.
No, I think he did edit it. I'm not sure, though.
And that's where I was. That first week after summer disappeared. This is Interstate 26, by the way, above my head. Shoots right off of 11W, which goes to Rogersville, which is where Don is right now.
I think this...
Straight through Bays Mountain.
So I think this was done while Don was in the pokey, while he was in the can.
Heading toward Asheville, North Carolina. Those are some of the original citizens up there. Flying. So looking at those hillsides, streams, steep embankments below the house property. Not a lot of traffic normally. That day the police were stopping everyone and just asking them if they'd seen anything. So I had gave them my thoughts. There was a couple things around there that I'd noticed coming in, and so I just shared that. Just my citizens' contribution.
That was nice of you.
It was actually a beautiful area. So looking at all that, not really knowing what to think. It was time to head back, and started heading back east toward Kingsport.
Yeah.
And you're in Hawkins County, but not for long. It turns back into Sullivan County. Part of Kingsport is in Sullivan and Hawkins, but obviously not that part through there. Now where Don was working later is further west of Kingsport, where the houses are. Edinburgh. Absolutely gorgeous area, neighborhood, school right in the middle of it. That's part of Kingsport. That's still Sullivan. But then Hawkins on an 11W heading west toward Rogersville. They own just a little part of that, and then it goes into it's like from Mount Carmel.
He made these 3 years ago while Don was in the can.
Which is part of Kingsport right there. Very familiar with that. But then after that, heading slightly west, you get into the Churchill, and then down toward Rogersville, which takes a little while. And that's where Don is right now.
And by the way,
so leaving Hawkins County.
Don went to jail on a violation of probation because he got picked up for drunk driving the night that he was talking to me, Chris, and I forgot the other guy's name, but it's not important. And I was blamed personally for getting Don to drink and drive. How, I don't know. When he was talking to us, he was drunk. He decided to get in a car and talk on the phone. And then he got pulled over, went to jail, and then he ended up in doing 8 months. You're right, Muscles. It was absolutely hammered out of his ever-loving mind, and basically said that we provoked him. We provoked him to drink and drive. So,
County back into Sullivan, heading back toward
hi, buddy.
the east, headed down Reservoir, which is the road that takes you to how you can go up on the mountain.
And then he went on to say that that there was no body cam footage, that he wasn't even that drunk. But I got to tell you that Don was so drunk that night that alcohol was able to list Don Wells on its taxes as a dependent just from that night alone.
Absolutely amazing park up there. One pen is just full of wolves. It's amazing when they find roadkill like a deer and toss it over the fence.
Oh my God.
Watching the order of the clan, who gets to eat first. But they've got a planetarium, one of the few in the nation. This is city owned too, this whole mountain. Planetarium is top notch, 4K. It's just astounding that they've had this. Miles of trails. The big reservoir, barge, raptors, birds, studies.
I did. I noted the
They
clan.
make all their own huge stuff like replicas of space, stuff like space shuttles. Just incredible artistically. But that's what you're looking at right there.
Hang in there,
on the
guys.
other side.
It gets worse, but I mean,
We're
a
looking
little
west.
better.
That's where the road is, right on the other side of that.
There's no shortage of creepiness throughout.
And you
all
go
of
down
this.
that direction, and if I could get high enough, you'd see the volcano.
He is a babbling buffoon.
But I'm on the north side of Bays Mountain, and then which looks slightly different than the south side of Bays Mountain. And that was day one. Going out to sea, trying to get a feel for what happened, trying to get a feel for the area.
Hey, how'd that ever
And
work
not really
out?
having a whole lot to think, just
How'd that ever work out for you, Tim? Did you ever figure it out? Nope. Okay.
soaking it up.
But what he did do, and you'll hear about it later, is that he taped. Apparently, he rides around with paper and scotch tape in his car. I don't know. Maybe people do that. Nobody I know does it. Anyway. So he taped, I remember he taped his phone number to the Wells house, like their front window. He tells it. He says it because they wouldn't return his calls. They wouldn't return his calls because he's a lunatic. Even the Wells thought he was crazy. He does. He blames us for everything. He said that I ruined his life. I didn't know that his life was on fire before I was introduced to him. All right, so let's just head right into. Why can't I just go back? Thank you. Part 2. Well, allegedly he was. Allegedly he's been in a mental Macho, you gotta move, buddy. Come on. Come here. It doesn't work. It doesn't work very good, buddy. Say hi. Macho wants everybody. Hi. It doesn't work, buddy. Okay. You can say hi to everybody, but then you got to go to sleep. You have a bed. You have your own bed. It was a deer blind, and I don't know who it was. You feel better now? Say hi. Say hi. Oh, say hi. I'll hold you for a few minutes. Can't hold you forever, though. You're very heavy.
This is what's called Netherland End. One of the first places that was built in this area that really is loaded with some history, as in Daniel Boone and the Wilderness Trail, 1775 plus. Here's the end, done in 1818. I think we had 3 different United States presidents come here. When did I first meet the family? I'd read a lot. I can't remember if I was listening to the YouTubians yet.
Oh, yeah, that's what he used to call us, the YouTubians.
But I was photographing what's called the Fun Fest. We have the whole week in this area called Fun Fest. They do everything. Tens of thousands and thousands and thousands come. It's very nice. And one event of the many that week is a fun parade downtown. Just fun. Everything fun. Everything happy. And we had not had much going on because of the pandemic. That's what they call it. And so everybody was pretty happy to be together. That's the back of the Netherland end with the Holston River. Very famous river also. Matter of fact, if you wanted to go west, you had to do it from right here.
What was that?
You came from the east, you had to come right here, somehow get a flatboat, and you could go from here all the way to New Orleans. First stop, like Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. Matter of fact, if I recall, it was 1,000 miles from here to Nashville on water.
His ears poke up big time, yeah.
However, by car it's about 280.
He'd sit here all day like this.
Phone ran out. Switching to bigger camera.
What was that?
It was, I think it's 1,000 miles to Nashville by water. You can drive it in about 280 miles. So, I hadn't met the family
Put you down now, please.
at all.
Want to be put down?
Didn't know them. Never met them. Never saw them. Could have. Who knows? Living in this area. Maybe I had seen them before somewhere. Or might have even photographed them somewhere. Candace with the children. One of the events, the different places like this, Netherland End, Exchange Place, all these historical areas that we have here. So I'm at the Fun Fest parade, standing in the middle of the street, photographing everybody. Everybody's happy. Nobody cares if you take their picture, which is rare these days. Families, children. It's called Fun Fest 2021, July. Very happy atmosphere. Everyone's happy to be back out, enjoying themselves. And so I'm photographing, music, floats, candy flying everywhere. And I turn around and I see somebody walking a banner, 2 people. So, go to take a shot and I suddenly look and read it. And it's the banner about summer whales. And I look and I think, is that the mother? Is that actually the mother carrying this banner that lost her child in this parade? And it wasn't bad that she was in the parade. It was just, with such an atmosphere, it was totally unexpected.
I don't believe
Totally
that. I think he went
unexpected
down
to
there.
see this shattered mother
I think he went down there. He knew she was going to be
carrying
there.
a banner, and I'll just have to leave it to others, my reaction, but
By the way, that banner holding wasn't even wasn't Candace's idea. I mean, I guess I give her some. I guess I give her credit for doing it, but she didn't look too happy. Let me see here. Hold on. Why can't I? It drives me nuts. Why can't I see the rest of the? Hold on. Muscles gives her no credit. All right. Well, I mean, I'm kind of with you on that, but. Let's see. There's Candace. So that's nice. No, I don't actually give her any credit.
It stunned me. I got a picture, but I just had to stop. I mean, you had to give her respect. You had to. You had to give respect. We'll just leave it at that. And as she walked by, I might have said something to her. Might have touched her on the shoulder. I don't remember.
Jeez.
I just never been around such a huge moment in somebody's life. It was such a loss. And there was another lady walking with her who just smiled real big and I think said something pleasant. That turned out to be Robin. By the way, this is a cabin of Daniel Boone, the Daniel Boone.
There's another Daniel Boone.
They managed to bring it here. This is how the settlers made them. Cut the wood,
Daniel Boone.
pack the cracks.
Pack the cracks. That's what Don did.
This is all part of the Netherland End Park here in Kingsport.
Pack the cracks. Great. What a weird thing to say.
I've never seen a moment like that. And as she walked by, all I could do is just stand in the middle of the street and stare at them.
Get out of the road.
I mean, their backs were to me as they kept walking, and I was, it's like I went into a different zone. I said, Tim, man, you got to pull yourself up here. You got to pull yourself up. You got pictures to take. And I know people were looking at me like, whoa, because the reaction was just so intense. This was the mother. The girl, 5 years old, totally disappeared, gone. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. The girl's gone. And the mother's walking a banner. You know, I'm sorry you wouldn't put yourself through that just to do it.
Yeah, he's really into. I have a feeling, and I don't know the status of that now, but I think that he's always sort of had a little thing for Robin because, and from what I know, and I've never spoken with Robin ever, but I hear that she's a fairly nice person, but I also think that she seems to be a Wells enabler, and for that I don't have that great of feelings towards her. However, she's polite, and so I think that old Timmy Mullen here really, you'll see he circumvents the Wells to get in. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not, like I said, I'm not.
I don't know if it's heart. I don't know if it's guts. I don't know what you would call it. It's a mother.
He's really staring at the packed cracks. Look at all them packed
Without
cracks. Very nice building.
Her child. In the happiest parade of Kingsport. I mean, it's happier than Christmas.
Yeah, look, I'm not, like I said, I'm just saying that she's a polite person when you talk to her. I'm not saying that she's not this or not that, but it seems as though that she's very, because she runs I don't know if she runs it. She's a Sunday school teacher, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything about her.
It's our July 4th. It's Fun Fest. So, I whipped my camera back around and tried to start taking pictures and grin and laugh and smile again at everybody.
Yeah.
But it definitely struck. And, by the way, that's where the axe would hit these old logs. Most of these are actual from the 1700s. They're axes, they're cuts. So there was something about this that made me want to get back and look at that picture. That was the first time I'd ever seen Candace. That I know of.
I don't even know what that means. What the hell does that mean? That I know of.
It's the train tracks. Somebody was crossing the train tracks.
Friggin' strange thing to say.
So there went the mother. Walking down the street, watching all the families laugh and have fun with their children. Because Fun Fest is a family week.
By the way, Tim doesn't have a family.
Everything geared for children, families.
Just saying. That to me seems important. I don't know.
And there was a mother walking down through there without hers, carrying that banner. The banner now, I'll try to put it on there. The banner now is in the woods just below the house.
It's a great question, Tim. I don't know. I have no idea. That's what I'm trying to tell you is that
That's all I thought at that time. Is just
this whole thing where now they're talking about Dawn and Candace have been cleared of all wrongdoing by DCS just is not a proper representation of what happened. And it's been spun by this guy. This is their guy. At least by at least Dawn's guy.
seeing that mother. I had no intention of anything else. I didn't even know if I'd meet him again. I don't know if I knew they were having the prayer meetings. I don't think I did. It was just a one-time, one-moment event that happened. As far as I know.
I don't think Angela's enjoying it.
So that's how I first met Candace.
Yeah, but you didn't really meet her. It's like kind of the, when like you meet somebody by hiding in the bushes, and then when they see you, you pop up and run away. That's that's what I'm saying. It's like that's what he meant by meeting Candace. Oh yeah, I met Candace. Boo. Just a weird fella.
First met the Whales as far as I know that I'd ever seen her.
Wow. Well, no, but nothing says we can't make fun of T-Rev, and we will. Oh wait, you can see if look, you can see him in the. Well, maybe you can't. I don't know. God dang it. I guess not.
It's a train station in Kingsport.
No, I don't want to hear him sing. I've heard him sing before. It's awful.
This town was made from scratch, pretty much.
Is this the Bread Lady episode?
1917 was chartered.
The Bread Lady. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Meeting the Bread Lady. Dude, this is a great one. Hang in there, Angela. All right. Let's see here. We got some people dropping out in chat, like trying to influence the chat. Come on, guys. I get it. If you don't like it, it's fine. I mean, we don't have to make a spectacle out of it, do we? Jeez.
Kingsport was known as the model city of the South. The way it was built, it was a different kind of city government used. It was the layout, everything about it was unique. Actually, 2017 had its 100th anniversary. This year is its 200th anniversary. Figure that one out. In 5 years. It's had 2 charters. First one was in 1822. Then it all fell apart around the Civil War, and then restarted in 1917. And they laid the whole city out.
You don't have to. I'm telling you, you don't have to sit through anything. You don't have to do me any favors. If you don't enjoy it, you don't enjoy it. I can understand. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
It's called the Model City. It has what's called Church Circle. Everything branches off from that. But this is a train station. It's pretty neat. Been up in that clock tower. Got one mechanism, runs all 4 clocks. This is about the 3rd piece of how I got on the Summer Wells journey. It was
So this is like this is really where he sort of infiltrates, and to me personally, stepped over a boundary to be able to connect himself with Don and Candace. And I truly believe that.
first was the paper, the second was the parade, and then later into the Fun Fest. There was lots and lots of things that different families can do, but one of them was what was called bread making.
I get it, man. I'm telling you guys, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. Like, you don't have to be negative about it.
You could learn how to make bread.
I don't know what his interest is.
And it
Not having any interest at all.
was going to be at the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And so on that day, I'd done various things, but I went to that function. Then there was another big one about the same time, but I wanted to do that because bread making sounded unique for the news and for the city to have.
Bread making
And
sounded unique. How is that possible? Oh, yeah, let's do something that's been done since, I don't know, 20,000 years ago. where we put a little bit of dough and yeast and then put it in a,
So I went to the 7th.
Oh yeah, bread making sounds fascinating. Let's go check out. It's like Tuesday afternoon, right? He's like, Tim is getting ready to leave his house that he lived at with his mother and father. They were like in their 90s, I think. I think his father has since then passed, but at one point, I think that he had to get up out of bed and tell his mother that he was going to bread in a bag, bread making in Kingsport to take pictures. Hey, Mom, I'm going to the bread in a bag thing down at the local church fellowship hall. Like, what? Well, have a good day, Tim. Thank you, Mother. I'll bring you back something. I don't know.
Seventh Day Adventist. Went inside to start photographing. And how do you say it? Lo and behold.
No.
There was that other woman.
I'm sure Fun Fest is not fun.
Walking with candles.
He's got oh man. How do I... Puts everybody in the left-hand corner because he's a moron. Okay, I got to redo this because this is driving me nuts. So give me a second. Okay, now there's nothing. Now, primary monitor, secondary monitor, add source, built-in retina display, boom. Okay, much better. However, there we go.
Candace in the parade. And she introduced herself as Robin. And that was really my second meeting. We talked just a little, talked about the parade. I can't remember really much of what we said.
I'm not bagging, quote unquote, bread making. And I'm sure that the people there are absolutely lovely and wonderful and kind. Not exactly my crowd, although I could probably spend some time if necessary. However, that looks like the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life. And some of you may say that this video is more boring than that. Go sit through bread making and then come back to me. Bread making class.
But got a lot of footage.
Got a lot of footage. He covered the bread.
And I remember I was hungry. I commented.
I was so hungry for that bread. I couldn't believe it. I love bread.
Bad place to come when you're hungry bread making and you got to wait for them to make it and cook it.
Unreal.
And I had to take off to go down to another function. Some big outdoor shindig dance, wahoo. And if I remember right,
Which you don't, I'm sure. Oh my God, that poor lady. She does not look like she's having fun. I mean, she looks like she knows how to make bread, though. She doesn't look like she's having
I
fun.
think maybe I'd left. Maybe they'd offered. They said we could make a loaf.
No, they didn't offer. You said, can y'all make me a loaf of bread and I'll come back for it later? Here's my phone number and then call me. And then once you call me, I'll save the number of the person that called me. Yes, that's what I'll do.
If you would like one, and I may have I gave them my number.
Ooh.
And
They could have just, why do they need to give you your number, Tim? Just say, hey, the bread will be done in an hour. Come back then, asshole.
so while I am at the
Here's my number. Call me when the bread has baked. I'm waiting for the bread to bake, and then I'll be back. So stupid.
shindig,
I love bread.
and it was a big outdoors thing. I did get a text that said, "Got some bread."
Hook, line, and sinker. They texted him. Classic mistake. Classic. You got to *69 that shit when you're calling a guy about some bread that's waiting. You know exactly the photo. He's photographing. Oh man, messed up big time.
Bread ready.
You got a text message that said bread ready. Bread ready. Listen to this.
It was a big outdoors thing. I did get a text that said, "Got some bread."
Well, Angela, what it has to do with the Summer Wells case is this is how he got involved through the bread class. So that's what it has to do with it. This is like his second maneuver to get in with the Wells, and now runs their entire public persona, responsible for Dr. Phil. Shit, I don't know.
Bread ready. We're getting ready to leave here. I can drop it off somewhere. And I thought, well, that's like kind beyond measure. And it was actually Robin that texted.
Oh man, now he's locked in.
And I thought, well, gosh, if they're going out of the way to make me a bread, I should at least go by and pick it up.
You would think so. Hey, we made some bread for you, Tim. We left it behind the dumpster. Sorry, there's an old shitter back there too, but we wrapped it with tinfoil.
So headed that way, and got there just in the nick of time. They were just finishing up in the kitchen cleaning, and Robin, another lady, children, they had made a plate of this bread already buttered and warmed and cut, and
Buttered and warmed and cut.
it was like, oh yeah. So
Wow. Did you hear that?
they had a little drive-in window like at the church, so I was
Oh my
outside.
God, he's taking pictures of him through the window. Oh, I didn't even notice that the first time. Oh my God. Look at this.
And it was like, oh yeah. So
Well, first of all, listen to his reaction, and then we'll look at his creepy 1 hour photo.
and they had made a plate of this bread already buttered and warmed and cut, and it was like, oh yeah. So They had a little drive-in window like at the church, so I was outside. So they opened up the window and I got to
Oh my Lord.
enjoy. They had a little drive. It was like, oh yeah. So they had a little drive-in window.
Like he's taking pictures through the drive-in window, which they didn't have a drive-in window. They were trying to hand it to him out the window because they didn't want him to come inside.
Like at the church.
Oh my God, he's zooming in. Oh. Wow.
So I was outside. So they opened up the window and I got to enjoy a little bread snack.
A little bread snack. It gets weirder by the minute.
And real nice people. They all seemed very nice there. Everybody I've met at that church seems very nice.
It's a church. It's like churches run off of hospitality and, niceness most of the time. It's kind of their thing to, bring in people for bread day.
And then they gave me my loaf of bread. And I headed on back.
Look, there's the picture of the famous bread. It looks good. I got to be honest with you. It looks good. I can't lie. However, the fact that he took a picture of the bread makes everything weird. Like I would have never told this story to anybody ever for any reason whatsoever. I would have skipped over the whole day, I would have made something else up. I would have said something like, I was at the grocery store and I saw her and I said, "Hey, will you get me in touch with?" That's what I would have done. But
finished up what I was doing, and it was pretty late by then in the evening, and pretty well that ended the day.
Hit the like button, please.
With that nice treat.
I would have erased the whole day off the camera. I'd have been like, "Nah, this didn't happen. The bread was good, but
Treat. And that's how I met Robin the second time.
Yeah, that's how I stalked Robin the first time.
I'd been in that church once before years ago.
For what? Why? For what?
I went for something.
Yeah, can you please tell us?
They were having some.
I do not believe he has any criminal convictions that I know of, but I do know that he allegedly has been hospitalized for stuff. Allegedly.
Interesting.
I have it on very good authority that it allegedly happened. Possibly.
Seminar or something. And that was a long time ago. So this first.
I actually asked Don about it one time. I said, "Is it true that Tim Mullen has been in a mental institution?" And Don laughed and said yes. Like he started laughing. He thought it was funny. It was like
time I'd been back up there. And like I said, everybody there was extremely nice. And thoughtful, of course. So, when I forgot her name, I would just call her the bread lady.
the way that, and it was like a real laugh. It was a pretty hard laugh.
So for a long time, she was the bread lady, or not a long time. Until I finally remembered, oh, it's Robin. Name, I would just call her the bread lady. When I forgot her name, I would just call her the bread lady.
What is it? Does anybody know? I don't know the significance of this, but
when I forgot,
what is this? Like, what's the picture that he put up there? I don't get it.
Her name, I would just call her the bread lady. So for a long time, she was the bread lady, or not a long time. Until I finally remembered, oh, it's Robin, but the bread lady. And
He knew her
very
name.
nice. And
He probably knew her at this point, may have even knew her address.
I don't think it was long right after that.
This is a whole story, folks. I'm telling you. I know the first couple episodes are slow. It heats up. Big
And I
time.
made some contact, something about the case.
Wait till he talks about giving Don a piggyback ride down 110 Ben Hill. Just kidding.
Can't remember
Just kidding. That didn't happen.
exactly, but
That I know of.
got to go up to the park. She was at the park with her family, so I got to go up and meet her husband and get to know him. Real nice people. He's nice. Solid guy. Very solid.
Yes, he did.
And so that was not long after that. I can't remember the exact order of how those events happened, but it was good to meet him.
It's great to meet him.
And
I'm sure he was so happy that you somehow found your way towards to them. You're like, Robin, you gotta stop being nice to the homeless people.
the bread was delicious.
Oh my god, dude. The bread thing's making me nauseous.
And Robin was friendly from day one.
Yeah. That's
And continues to be that way.
interesting.
The church is very nice.
Wait till they figure out that Robin sold them out to the media.
When I've seen other people,
But you got to hang in there for that. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a whole story. There's a story to this. I get it. The first couple episodes sucked. We're warming up.
well, that's what it was. It was a church. They were having a church picnic, and
Ooh, church picnic.
I think there was like an invite or something like that, or if you want to come by or something. I can't remember. And I was in the area photographing and thought, oh well, yeah, I should zoom by because I definitely wanted to meet her husband, and then that was just a little bit of time, just a little
I don't know what he wants, to be honest with you.
after the bread. Fun Fest was over at the end of that week. That was there in July, and that is around the time I started listening to, I think I came across the YouTube. It was the interview room.
Oh, Chris McDonough has entered the chat. Why is the sound effect so long? This is a really long sound effect. They're not supposed to be that long, Peyton. I don't know why you would. That was like a 30-second. That was like 30 seconds of fireworks. We don't need 30 seconds. It needs to be. I'm a big 7-second believer.
I think that was the first thing I heard. I have my own.
What was that? Let's honestly, and Peyton, I know that you can hear. Listen. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000, 7 1,000, 8 1,000, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I think I even went too slow. I think I went too slow and didn't fully grasp how long it really was. So, Peyton, please cut that in like a third. dude. Please. My God. You're usually pretty good about that. Like, what? How long is the clapping one? 7 seconds. Like, that's the perfect amount of time. That's the, like, how long is the baby cries 5 seconds. It's good. That's good. How long is the police siren? 12 seconds. That's a little long. So why are the fireworks are 25 seconds?
Own thoughts on that?
It's 25 seconds though. Like, that's crazy. That's an insane amount of time.
Which I thought that was excellent at the time. Until he came to a certain spot, and I could tell when he said what he said that it just was going to probably cause all sorts of bad stuff. And I wished he hadn't gone that way. But other than that, the interviews were both very good and very helpful to be able to get to see Candace, get to hear, listen to her, see the home. I know people were like shocked with the home, but they don't know this area. You can drive down Beach Creek and see all sorts of homes that a lot of people may not like to keep their home that way, but that wasn't really the point to me. When I saw it, it was like, that didn't bother me. However, I'll discuss that. I'll discuss that another time. I'll just put it this way. Sometimes somebody has a skill set that's not made to be used publicly. And when it's used publicly, its flaws show real fast of why it was never.
Dude. So what he's talking about, he's talking about McDonough. And hold on. Give me a second. Hold on.
I know we have to.
Hey, did you intercom me?
Yeah.
Am I? What's that in the background?
The Office.
Can you turn that down for a second?
Yeah, I'll just pause it.
Okay, that works. Hey, you loaded all the sound effects really well, and I thank you for it.
Yeah.
But why do we have a firework that's 27 seconds of fireworks? Like, I went to use that, and like, it just keeps, listen. Can you hear that? Can you hear it?
I hear it.
It just keeps going. Watch. We have like 20 seconds left of this. Why would anybody need this much firework? There's still 10
I'm just
seconds.
gonna let it play.
There's still 10 seconds to go.
I'm just gonna let it play.
You just let it play?
Yeah.
No, it's not 13 seconds. It is 25 seconds. I can see it right here. You just let it play.
Yeah, it feels like a long 25 seconds.
It really does. You just thought it was a good length of time?
Yeah, it might have been a little overboard though.
That's okay. I was just asking if there were like any thoughts behind it, like because you did this really well. This is a 7-second clip. That's good. That is good. You did well.
Right.
7-second clapping clip. Perfect.
Yeah.
And let me see, what else did you load here? Typewriter, 7 seconds. Paper crumble,
Right.
takes a second. Pencil writing, 10 seconds. Dear Diary, today my son decided to use a 25-second clip of fireworks. You know, and so and then all those are good. Let's see, thunder. The thunder and rain one is 2 minutes and 10 seconds long.
Well, that's the best I could find.
We're just like, I'm not going to cut this down a little bit.
Sometimes it's a good idea not to.
So let me get this straight. You were leaving it up to me because you're like, he can cut it off whenever he wants.
Right.
But most of the time, what I want to do, son, is hit the button and forget about it.
Okay.
So now I'm having to stop what I'm doing, and then I have to go hit the button again. And I don't want to hit the button twice. I know it's like a little nothing nuance to you, but it means something to me.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. That's it. It's an on-the-job situation, you know? I mean, you did your job. You did fine. But now I have to tell you. And the only time that I can really get a hold of you is like when we're live. And it's fresh in my mind, so I have to, you know.
Yeah. Did you say the only time you get a hold of me is when you're live?
I mean, yeah, that's not true. We see each other all the time.
Yeah, that's why
I meant the only time I could correct you about this stuff is like in the present is really what I meant.
Oh.
That's all I meant. Tell me what you think of this laugh really fast, though. Like, this is a real person's laugh. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Uh-oh.
What was that?
That was a laugh by a real person.
Fake.
One of my ops.
Your ops.
Yeah, he's one of my ops on YouTube.
I don't know what an op is.
You know what an opper is.
An opper?
Yeah, an opposition.
Oh.
Get with the
Well,
time.
now that makes sense.
He's one of my ops, but listen.
Uh-oh.
What's he laughing so hard about?
I don't know. To be honest, I can't remember. I think he was laughing at me. He was laughing because he thought that he got me mad about something. And that was his response to it.
Uh-oh.
And that lady there is like worried that he's going to take the life of somebody tonight if he's not watched. Like, listen to her.
Uh-oh.
Did you hear her?
Yeah.
Okay, now listen to this. Tell me.
He's on homicide watch.
Tell me what kind of a person you think sounds like this. That's a laugh.
A maniac.
Okay, what kind of a maniac?
Murderous maniac.
Okay, well, that's not nice.
You asked.
I did. That's true. All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we went over this, and I'm glad that it got straightened out.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
All right.
Anything else? I mean, you got any other questions or anything? Is everything good? You need any help with anything
questions.
else for the show?
I mean, is everything good on your end?
Everything's good, except the fireworks were a little long, and that was it.
I thought that was a good, 25 seconds. nothing wrong with that.
All right. See you later.
Well, I guess I see the problem.
Okay. Bye. It's good. It's good talking to
Bye.
you. Love you. Bye. So, anyway, that happened. Yeah. It's a good kid. Great guy. Good stuff. And Nice Marie says you done a great job, Peyton. I agree. He did for the most part. It was good. I didn't even expect to use I didn't even expect to use that tonight. That sound effect. It just came up and then it ended up being really long. So that's it. All right. Back to whatever this is.
Made to be a public skill set. It was always made to be a private skill set. But there's learning curves. Unfortunately, a lot of people got hurt in this certain learning curve.
So he's talking shit about McDonough.
And it continues to resonate. So, it was the news. It was the parade. And it was making bread. And meeting Robin. Meeting her family, meeting her church family. So these were the initial pieces.
I'll have to bring the flare gun back.
That were slowly drawing me closer to this whole case and this situation.
Oh my God.
It had already touched my heart just watching the banner in the parade.
Yeah, I think he's getting his steps in, but he's something, isn't he? I agree. Josh, look at it from the good side. You can grab your coffee while fireworks are playing. I certainly could. That's true. You could make a whole pot and probably drink it. Oh, it'll get fixed. He'll fix it. But I do love his attitude. You know, he's just, most of the time he's just kind of roll with it. Sometimes he gets a little combative, sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes, you know, he'll just be like, you know, well, you know, you kind of get what you pay for, or whatever, shit like that. Like he'll say that to me. Well, sometimes you get what you pay for. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever done stuff like this. It's pretty good. Okay, whatever. Well, Dad, sometimes, you know, you get what you pay for. No, it honestly, it wasn't. I don't know if you guys listened to the latest podcast that we did, but Peyton was very defiant the whole time. He was absolutely hilarious, and but he was defiant the entire pod. He refused to apologize to me about something that he did, that he accused me of, that wasn't true. He accused me of laughing at him for reading the Hunger Games. I did not laugh at him for that. And then when I demanded an apology, what did he do? He said, "I'm sorry that you can't read well," or something like, you know, it was just defiance after defiance after defiance after defiance. It kept going, and Yeah, he is strong-willed, that's for sure. He made fun of me, that's right. That's exactly what he did. But let's see here. We could do another one. What are we at? This is part 2, part 3. We could do one more, or we could call it an evening. However, the next one's close to 40 minutes long. Maybe we'll save that one. I'll show you. I'll show you this bull crap right here. Watch. Yeah, we can go back to it. Yeah, it was just 2 months ago on this podcast. We can do another one.
Welcome to the Lab After Dark.
Listen to this.
No big deal podcast number 3, I think, and we've been trying to get this one in for a while, but here we are.
Listen to this.
We were supposed to start at 7. It's now pushing 9. You know how many kids you want?
Yeah, I watch.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I don't want to turn into like a slave. I don't think you realize.
I don't realize.
Okay.
I'm the one that set the poll. I know. I watched the whole thing, and it was he had 50% on his side, 40, but there's 100 votes, so that doesn't come out
50 to 49. I see.
But it should be 50-50.
I mean, somebody may have voted like NA or something.
That's not true.
That wasn't an option.
Maybe they made it an option.
They can't make it an option, Peyton. There's only 2 options.
Okay.
I'm the one that set the poll. I know. I watched the whole thing, and it was he had 50% on his side, 49% on my side. However, it did say 100 votes because we shut it off right at 100. Okay, and it was 50-49. That's a dead tie. That's a draw, right?
Yeah, we have to call that 50-50.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Hey, he's the arbiter. You don't get to pipe in on that. T-Cat's the arbiter of this.
Well, what happened to that 100th vote if you don't want to call it 50-50? Didn't just disappear. So you're saying it could be 51-49.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't.
He ended with 49.
But it doesn't make any sense because there was 100 votes.
But you ended with 50 and 100 vote
That's
poll.
Peyton. He's
Right.
Cat
But
Williams.
before,
you can't
right
win.
before that,
You can't.
right before that, I was at 51.
You can't see him.
So I
Oh.
went down 1%, but he never moved. So I
Are
feel
you
like
in-
maybe
are you in
something
the
went wrong in
bathroom?
the system. No, I'm just pacing around.
Go sit down. You're echoing everywhere.
Pacing around. It's echo.
He sounds like he's in the shitter, right?
It sounds like it to me.
I'm not though. I'm just pacing around.
But
I need to
why?
move.
Okay, reduce noise background for Peyton. That's good. All right.
What's up, Cakes Boo?
And okay, so here's what happened. Ronell, you were here for the whole thing, and I'm gonna lay it out to you.
Hi, Jenny. Oh, you were here.
If you want to chime in, okay. So I called Ronnie Juice, not yesterday, the day before, and I don't remember what we were. We were talking about the Giants game. Okay, when Wilmer Flores hit that home run in the 9th, I'm sure you saw.
Yeah.
And so I call Ronell, or he calls me. I don't remember. But anyway, Peyton is after we're talking. Peyton is sitting next to him, like in a chair with his feet up, reading a book. Okay,
That's already good.
dude. See, he's already laughing. Peyton.
No,
All right.
no. You know
I
what?
just stop for a second because I know. So I go to Ronell, like, because I'm kind of chuckling, and I go, he wasn't looking at me. I said, is he looking at me? Like, does he know that I'm looking at him while I'm chuckling? And then finally the chuckle catches his eye. He turns and looks at the camera and he says, "What are you laughing for?" Because I have the intellectual ability to read a book.
Dang.
Like
That's not what I
hot
said.
for no reason, correct?
That's
not what I
shots
said.
fired.
Shots fired. Okay. So then he's like, "You're laughing at me because I'm reading the Hunger Games."
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And I think you're lying to everybody when you say it wasn't.
Yeah. So then I asked him for an apology. This was Peyton. Tell him how you apologize to your father.
Okay, I said, I'm sorry that I have the brain capacity to read and you don't.
To the man that birthed you.
That's what I thought. Like, so then we asked the audience.
That's like when I forgot to bring Chuck the hole in the wall sandwich.
I'll never forget it, man. No, you didn't forget. You didn't get him one. You didn't offer him one.
Yeah, he came at me with the same response. Like, I've given you everything in this world.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I remember that exact. remember the exact monologue because it was so funny to me. And he says, "I've never denied you anything in this world, my own son."
Dude, this all applies.
No, it doesn't. This is like completely different.
We went to Hole in the Wall, Peyton. We went to get a sandwich. Ryan.
This doesn't correlate.
So then we go back, and he's like staring at Ryan while Ryan's killing this like turkey on marble rye.
Oh man,
this beautiful sandwich, and he's just
Hole in the Wall is like super
eating
good.
rice out of a rice cooker. Hating life, but watching what he's like watching horse racing on an iPad, and he had like a pistol sitting next to him. You remember that?
Yeah.
He just sits around with it. He just would sit around with a pistol. R.I.P. Chuck, one of the greatest of all time. He that memory will never. He used to call me Dr. Daddy D all the time.
Dr. Daddy D.
Yeah, said I was his favorite baseball player ever. That includes you, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
It's called Hole in the Wall.
He said he would have taken you #1 overall in the Babe Ruth draft over me.
I mean, I was versatile. You couldn't really hit that well.
Yeah, even in Little League, I couldn't hit like my entire life.
Yeah, but you could pitch and you could play defense really well.
That took me far enough, I guess.
You're kind of like the Javier Baez.
More like Felipe Crespo.
He called me that one day too. But anyway, so it's the same thing. It was the same.
Definitely not.
Okay, but take away the sandwich. So, Ronell, you tell me, was that an overreaction by Peyton?
It was too far.
No, it wasn't.
See?
No, it wasn't. You guys are so dramatic.
No,
he went 0 to 100.
You're
I did not.
You can just hear Peyton. He's getting more annoyed by the minute.
Dramatic, and you were the one saying to me that the only reason I'm laughing at you is because of the book that you were reading. And I didn't even, well, I did know because Ronald goes, he's reading the Hunger Games. And then
Which isn't funny.
It is. Well, that's not why I was laughing, but it is funny.
If he was reading Harry Potter, would that have been funnier or less funny?
Funnier.
Okay.
And more understandable.
So, wait. So, it depends on which book I was reading?
Yeah, I mean, it has something, but that's not why I was laughing. It's still funny.
So dumb.
What? What are you talking? How is it dumb?
So dumb.
How?
Because I just didn't realize that, like, being smart was a problem.
It has nothing to do with being smart. There's a bunch of dumb people that read Hunger Games. I guarantee it.
But not dumb people that can understand the nuances
of the Hunger Games.
It's a critique on society as a whole. You don't get that.
Yeah, it's an allegory, Josh.
Yeah, I would have to explain it to you, but you wouldn't understand.
First of all, I don't want you to explain it to me. Second of all, I'm sure I could understand it. It was a major motion picture that little kids went to see.
That didn't convey what
the plot isn't really like Pulp Fiction in reverse or anything like that. I'm sure that I would be able to understand it, but I choose not to watch. I've never seen a Hunger Games. I've never read a Hunger Games book. You told me two names. Josh, you told me two names from the Hunger Games the other day, and tell me what they are.
Coriolanus, Pluribius.
I mean, that's hilarious.
How is that funny? Coriolanus. That is literally the name of a Shakespeare play. It's not meant to be funny at all.
He said this to me the other day too. That he thinks that like Shakespeare absolves him from being.
Yeah, that's like a gotcha.
Yeah.
No, it's you guys are so stupid.
Yeah, we're stupid.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, but why? Because corny holy alias or whatever.
See,
What was
that's
his name?
why. See, I can't even talk to you about it because you just like
You're
distort the
losing this
name.
argument.
I'm not losing a thing. I'm winning.
He's so angry. He's an angry young man.
No, I'm not. I'm feeling attacked and I'm defending myself.
You're the one that wanted to bring this up. I told you to drop it yesterday.
I didn't even say anything today.
I told you to drop it yesterday. Did I not? And you're like, I'm bringing it up tomorrow. So I said, okay, well, I'll make
You
room
brought it up first.
because I wanted to get it out of the way because it's so stupid because you're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm
wrong,
right.
You're wrong.
No, I'm
now
right.
You owe me
You're
an
wrong.
apology.
You don't know what you're saying.
You
don't know what you're saying. The Hunger Games, they're just too nuanced for you.
Care about
You can't even spell nuance.
That's not
you
why
don't understand
not why I was
what I'm
laughing.
talking about.
But that's not why I was laughing at you.
Yeah, it was.
Ronell, was it the reason I was laughing at him? I laughed before I knew what you were reading.
Yeah, you laughed as soon as I flipped the phone around.
Yeah, and then he goes, he's reading Hunger Games, and then I chuckled again, but that wasn't the original chuckle.
Not even
Yeah, the book by itself is
literally-
enough to be funny.
You would ask me if he was. You would ask me if he was near me, and then I flipped the phone, and you started laughing.
Now, what'd you say, Peyton?
Country girl, I got just a thing for you to celebrate. She says, hey, her. I just received the best news ever. My daughter lives in Malaysia. And oh my gosh, she is coming home for a visit. Happy. Sorry, I'm a bit excited. Continue. Well, let's celebrate. All right. Awesome.
So you guys are all just,
But in all sincerity, that is great news, honestly.
just close-minded.
What does that have to do with
And because hearing the book alone is funny. It's not my fault. You guys don't understand the critique on freaking society today. You just want to stay blind and consume.
Yeah, he's mad. We hurt his feelings.
What? What the hell was that?
You're just another capitalist.
He's so mad, dude. And then, so check this out.
I'm not mad about anything.
So as he's confronting me on the air about it last night, and then he goes, "Can you hear my TV?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "I'm watching Shrek." Now, Shrek is a good movie, but this is a married man facing responsibilities.
Okay, first of all, it was like 11. My wife was sleeping.
My wife.
And Shrek was on.
He does that. He drops the wife on me like, "Hey, my wife. My wife doesn't."
I'm sophisticated. I'm sophisticated.
My wife has an inner ear infection.
So you're saying Shrek just happened to be on?
No, he
I turned
wanted
it
to
on.
watch it.
Oh,
No, because what was going on was we were scrolling through movies, and then I was like, "Oh, Shrek, turn it on," and then we turned on Shrek. And that was the end of it.
Was that, I guess.
Nice.
Nothing more to be said, right?
Yeah.
He's like, "What the fuck?"
Dude, you've just been attacking me, and I think I have the right to defend myself. And I think everybody would agree with me who's not on this podcast.
Oh, okay. So we agreed yesterday that Ryan was the arbiter. He was the one that was going to decide whether
But
you.
now Ronell's in.
Stop. He was the one that was going to decide if you owed me an apology or not. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And now Ryan's about to make his ruling. He can rule whatever he wants. If he thinks that I shouldn't apologize or you shouldn't apologize and we just let it go, then that's what he says. But he's going to make a decision. He's going to tell you if you're wrong, and then he'll tell you if you have to apologize or not. And if you don't apologize, you're cut off from the family forever.
Yeah. I mean, if it was like the biography of Napoleon, I'd cut you some slack. But Hunger Games, like it's worth an apology.
I agree.
Oh, damn.
You should be reading. You should be reading nonfiction. What are you doing, wasting your time reading fiction?
Enjoying my life.
Read like some biographies of like some great military leaders.
Dude,
Yeah,
I can write some. I can write, or I can read some articles like online about them, like I do.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter. You owe me an apology, so
I don't owe you nothing.
start smooching.
You
my
owe me. You know, you owe me a handwritten apology.
In cursive.
I want three. Yeah, in cursive. You better get writing, bud.
I'm not gonna. This is not how it works, Peyton.
I want it mailed.
Can't write
You're
any
gonna be
bud.
ostracized from the family if you keep this up.
I'm gonna what?
You're gonna be ostracized from the family.
Ostracified?
No, ostracized.
Like,
did you know? By the way, did you know that Johnny Cash was attacked by his own ostrich?
I feel like I've heard that. I never connected it to Johnny Cash. I've always heard that about someone, though. Like some famous figure.
It's true.
It's just so random for Johnny Cash, like of all people.
He owned. So Johnny Cash once lost a fight to an ostrich. Happy to see me. The man in black, one steps from him. That I guess is what his wings. Like he was going on about that last.
Because you're clearly like, no, you're jealous that I can read. That's what it is. I figured you out, dude.
I'm jealous.
I clocked you,
dude. You can read the exact same way that I can.
Yeah, Peyton. How do you think you learned how to read? He taught you to read.
Not from him.
What?
Dude, this came naturally to me.
No, it didn't. Remember the flashcards?
Nobody had to teach me how to read.
Remember the flashcards? Because you couldn't get your past tense and present tense right. Remember that?
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah, we made him flashcards so he could figure it out.
That's
First
true.
of all, I
We
was like
did.
11 years old.
Well, it doesn't matter. Still taught you, didn't I?
Dude,
I could be a dumbass the rest of your life. Should have, actually.
I would have figured it out on my own anyways.
No, you wouldn't because you were going
Yes,
on.
I would have.
And still doing it.
Yes, I would have.
What is it that you used to say that you got wrong all the time? I can't even remember now. There were so many things.
I'm not saying it because I know.
Kind of like this situation where you owe me a big fat apology. So, please.
I think it was the difference between there, and there. He doesn't know when to use which one.
That's not true at all. I've always been fine with that.
Dad taught me that one.
I did. I taught Ronell that one too.
You didn't teach me that.
And I also taught the twos as well.
Yeah.
You didn't teach me that either.
Well,
Did you know that if you multiply a single digit number by 11, you just double that number? And that's the answer.
Yeah, I did know that actually.
Yeah.
Peyton.
Yeah, that's easy.
TCAT has TCAT has officially ruled. I think. What is your ruling?
I ruled. I said, yeah, like that's apology written all over it.
Okay.
From who?
From Peyton.
To me.
No apology. I don't owe my dad anything.
You don't owe your dad anything. Okay.
You owe him a hole in the wall sandwich and an apology.
Best I can do is Subway.
Here, we're trying to make up for past sins. Okay. We need to write. We need to write what was wronged.
Best I can do is Subway and a Hunger Games book.
I don't want either one of those. I just want you to say you're sorry. I can buy my own sandwich.
Right now, you want me to say I'm sorry?
No. Yes, right now I want you to apologize to me and say that you're sorry and mean it.
Okay.
And
did.
All right.
and then,
Okay.
no, he's gonna do. All right, whatever. Go ahead.
My father, my one and only father. I just want to say, I'm sorry that I can read better than you, and you can't read at all.
I mean, that's
I'm sorry that my
you owe me an
grammar
apology for that now
is
too.
so good compared to yours.
He owes me now he owes me 3 apologies.
And I'm sorry I don't owe you an apology. You know, I want to apologize too for you actually owing me an apology because that must suck.
What you want to apologize for me owing you an apology?
Yeah.
I knew when he was going to go, do you want an apology? I knew that wasn't a real apology.
Yeah, there goes your apology.
No, we agreed.
Sorry, dude. I'm so sorry.
That's the
that you
problem
caught
with
me
forced
reading, bro.
apologies, though, because when you force someone to give an apology under duress, like you don't know if it's going to be sincere.
True. I just wanted to hear the words. That's it.
I'm so sorry you caught me reading.
He's manipulating the conversation.
All right, I take back the fake apology.
Hey, after he's done with the Hunger Games, he's going to graduate to something more in depth, like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So it's all good.
I could see that happening.
I already read those last week.
Maybe he'll switch to how to get estrogen out of your system.
Ooh. I don't have estrogen. Maltese.
Maltese.
Yeah.
No, you're
we
not.
shall get tested and have a contest.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, next podcast, let's do it.
No, because Peyton will lose and then he'll cry and be like, "My tea's high."
It is high.
No, it's
I'm
not.
hairy.
My
voice is deep.
I don't think that has much to do with tea.
Yeah, it does.
Does it, Ryan?
Yeah, a little bit. Not
as much as you would think.
It's a contributing factor. So is like hair loss. Like if you have bad hair, if you're like balding, that's symptom of higher testosterone.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
My hairline is kind of being pushed
because when you
back
think about it, it's
every day.
men who lose their hair and not women. So it's part
No, women
testosterone's a
do.
part of that. They do, but it's like less. It's less.
Peyton, did you just say you were going bald?
No, I just said my hairline's kind of like being pushed back.
Man,
like LeBron?
No, not like him. I'd be
I
bald.
have really low T because my hair is on point.
Okay. Oh.
By the way, Nate Hawk passed away.
Yeah. R.I.P. dude.
Yeah. I think it was in his Zoom, but man, I have no idea. To this day, you have like notifications on for my show? He's like, no. And then I saw
Swan.
He wouldn't have swung on Braun, bro. Braun would crush him.
I'd swing on Braun.
I'd swing on Braun.
He would crush.
LeBron posted about what? What are you talking about?
Back home in Miami, and it's been difficult.
Nelly, would you apologize under these circumstances?
Yeah.
He says, yeah.
Man, a few words.
He's a
Straight
normal,
to the point. Love it.
He's normal. He's a normal person,
I'm normal.
Huh?
I'm normal. I know injustice when I see it.
You know an injustice when you see it. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
You took it too far, man.
He took it too far. And the thing was,
I didn't take anything too far at all.
Here's what really bothers me about it.
It's still too far. It's been 2 days.
Okay, whatever.
Here's what bothers me about it, Peyton. You agreed to the arbiter decision making. Remember?
Maybe.
And you don't even have to mean the apology. I just want to hear the words.
All right. Okay.
Hey, cross your fingers behind your back.
I don't care.
They're crossed right in front of my phone.
I don't want. See, now it's null and void. You could have just kept.
My fingers aren't crossed. I'm sorry that I took what you said the wrong way.
Apology not accepted.
Oh.
Okay, well then I'm done apologizing. You messed it up.
Got him. Well, look,
you messed it up, so I'll never apologize for.
It's not like it was a real apology.
In my life to you.
Josh, I don't think in our entire lives together, I've ever done something to you worth apologizing for. Not even once. I've never had to apologize to you.
No.
Neither do I.
You just did.
You
did.
said not accepted, so I'm not apologizing for anything ever again.
I accept your apology. How's that?
Well, I don't accept the fact that I had to apologize.
What? What does that mean? He doesn't accept the fact that he had to apologize. You didn't have to apologize. You agreed that somebody would look at this situation and you would abide by whatever was ruled.
And he did.
I gotta say, at this point, this apology is gonna have an asterisk next to it.
No
You don't really
question.
know.
It's like 1998 Mark McGuire
all over again. Yeah.
Barry Bonds, all that shit.
No, we don't talk about Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds doesn't have an asterisk. He's the best.
No, Barry Bonds is asterisk free.
Yeah. So is A-Rod. But yeah, it's summer of 1998 for sure.
Whatever.
I just, I'm disappointed in the process. I'm disappointed that my son betrayed me. And,
whatever.
I'm disappointed that he doesn't love me.
All right.
What say you, Peyton?
What say I?
Yeah, what say you?
I say that now you're being dramatic. And,
like you were.
I wasn't being dramatic. I was
See, Ryan has never done anything to me besides not tell me that he was married, which I think I am owed an apology for as well.
And I don't reply to a lot of texts.
He doesn't.
He wants apology from here and there, and Ronell's next.
I told you about my son, though. Yeah, that's my fault. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll apologize.
No, I don't need one. Not for that. You have a wife and a kid. You're a busy guy.
I have a wife.
No one cares.
Okay.
I have a wife.
Does your wife speak Spanish?
No, but she can do sign language.
Oh, okay. My wife needs a friend that speaks Spanish.
That'll come in handy if she ever is helping Helen Keller.
Helen Keller was blind too, so she wouldn't see.
That's true. How did she? What happened? How did she come?
MLB. I hit into a double play.
Playing MLB. How did they communicate with Helen Keller then?
They didn't. I don't think they communicated at all.
Peyton thinks she's faking.
No, I think her life was just miserable.
Great.
But I don't think she
Wait, she was blind. She was blind and deaf.
They say blind, deaf, and dumb, but I don't understand the dumb part. Like, how could she be? How would they know that?
She's just dumb.
She's just blind and deaf. That doesn't make her dumb.
Well, I mean, maybe it could because she doesn't know anything if you're blind and deaf.
Yeah, but if she wasn't blind and deaf, she
Here's
would.
one thing I don't understand about the Braille. Like, if you're blind and you use the Braille to read, how do you find it? How do you know where it's going to be?
And be dumb.
Okay.
So I don't
I
think.
I think what they mean when you're blind and deaf, you don't have any reference to the world, so you don't know anything, so you're dumb.
Why would you throw that on her?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's rude.
Like insult to injury. Yeah.
She's already got it bad enough, and you're gonna throw dumb on top of it.
Yeah, I know now, because she couldn't read or because she couldn't speak. She was dumb. I get it. At the time, I didn't know this. This podcast is sort of older.
Oh yeah, she's
a few months old. I've been advised many times. Someone is offended. I am 100% sure.
Blind and deaf, and most people would go, "Yeah, that's terrible," and then they go, "And dumb." Oh,
and she's dumb.
I never understood that. I think that's foul.
How am I sick? I'm the one that I was saying that they shouldn't call her dumb.
I'm Team Helen.
They need
Selena. How am I sick? What the frick are you talking about?
They owe her an apology.
I was standing up for her.
It's flew a plane.
I thought that was Amelia Earhart.
Did you just say, did Helen Keller fly a plane?
Yeah.
How could she do that?
People say that she did.
Nobody ever said.
I don't know what's offensive about it.
I think they say that.
Nobody has ever said that Helen Keller.
Right, I'm going to look it up right now.
Amelia Earhart was like
I know who Amelia Earhart was.
No, you don't. And you don't. Okay. Helen Keller flew a plane.
Somebody that's making this up.
Yeah. Peyton.
Helen Keller, who was both Be quiet. Helen Keller, who is both blind and deaf, flew a plane in 46 as part of her advocacy for the blind.
Bull crap.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm calling crap on it, but
Wait,
that's
is
what they
that
say.
It can't be true.
Look it up.
That's true, actually.
I just wrote, did Helen, and then it came up
She
fly a
actually did fly a plane,
plane.
which is more than I've ever done.
Not a
Google's
chance.
listening.
Yes, in June 1946, Helen Keller, despite being deaf and blind, piloted a Douglas Skymaster plane for 20 minutes over the Mediterranean Sea. What? From Rome to Paris with the help. Dude, this lady was a pilot.
Yeah, she
How could she even write books?
I don't know.
I don't mean to sound like insensitive or anything.
It said the New York Times covered the flight, reporting that Keller likened the plane to a great graceful bird sailing through the illimitable skies.
How'd she know what a bird was?
Okay, this has nothing.
From 1919.
What she's famous for.
She wrote books. No, it ended on a good note.
I got a lot of opinions about Anne Frank. We'll get into that next time, though.
Oh God, I can't
I want to
wait.
hear it now.
No, I can't handle it. I gotta go get my stuff off that lady's porch.
I want to hear the opinions.
Well, that's what we can do more. I'm terrified to hear his opinions, to be honest with you, about Anne
You'd
Frank.
probably edit all of them out.
I probably would have to.
And you're probably going to edit this entire section out.
No, only the part where he said that they probably smelled.
That was a good joke. You better not edit that out.
I mean, it was, but it was it was funny. And then Ronell goes, "Well, she probably had a really great sense of smell." Which was a good follow-up joke.
Yeah,
Peyton.
two of our senses were taken.
Peyton, I need you to apologize one more time.
I'm sorry, everybody that
You got to apologize. I tricked him. I did it. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I feel hurt for someone. Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I hope everything's fine. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do. All right, guys. It's been 3 hours. Been a good show. Catch you tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lab After Dark is starting shortly.
We'll do more Timmy tomorrow. Tomorrow is not a big day because nothing's happening tomorrow. I agree. Thank you, Matt. Muscles. Appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Yeah, closing arguments. That's true.
Lab After Dark is starting soon.
Well, you opened that Pandora's door.
I was actually just sitting down to pee, but whatever, you know.
What's the point in causing big ruckus?
Lab After Dark starts now.
Straight to the dome.
Andrew the Giant.
Straight to the throat. Straight to the dome and straight to the throat.